Hi, my name is Tom. This is the MILESEEY dual measurement tape measure. It's got a lot of cool features. I was sent this to go ahead and tell you all about it, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I've been using this off and on for about the last week or so, and I just wanted to kind of get a good vibe of how the whole thing works. Let me show you what you actually get in the box. It's pretty straightforward. So you open it up, you get a little instruction manual, and the instruction manual is actually pretty useful. There's a lot of neat little features you can do with this. It kind of folds out. It's in English. It's readable. It's legible. There's a lot of neat little features you can do with kind of angling and figuring out measurements that you don't normally think about with a tape measure. You get the actual tape measure itself. Now, it's fairly good size, but it's also lightweight. It's not a real heavy tape measure. It is pretty strong. It's durable. It's got a screen on the top there. It's got the tape measure right here. This is kind of the manual part of the tape measure. We'll talk about all the features in a moment. But it's a nice, decent tape measure. It does have a belt hook. You also get a little USB charging cord, and then you'll also get a little certificate just saying that it actually passed inspection. There we go. Okay, great. Let me tell you all about it. Even without the electronics, this is actually a pretty nice little tape measure. You do have the inches is there at the top, and then you actually have centimeters down the bottom, so that's good. You have both imperial and metric. The end is a magnet, so you can actually kind of stick it onto a metal something, makes it a little easier. You can also use it to kind of pick up screws and nails that have fallen or staples or fallen. I've used that once or twice. It's pretty nice. It's a nice solid hook. It's a nice deep hook, so you can put it on an edge and it will stay pretty well. You just kind of pull it out, as you can see. There we go. Everything's good. It's a pretty solid aluminum as well. It's not plastic or anything. It does stick out. Here we go. We got, let me see here. We got 3 feet, and the tape measure is still firm and kind of sticking out. That's also good. It's a good indication it's a nice tape measure. Now, I want you to see something. It's not bouncing back in. Why isn't it bouncing back in? On the bottom, there is a release. And whenever you pull it out, it automatically stays out. And then you just press the button down here, and it slides back in. It's a nice smooth slide, not a slamming slide. The spring is just well adjusted, and it's just a nice tape measure. It's got little latch in their bottom, so you can kind of rack through a little loop if you want to, or you can put a rope there if you wanted to. And on the back here, you have a little charging port. It's a USB, I believe it's A charging port. It's a little weird one with the shape. You get the cord with it, and then you actually have a little USB regular port here. You just plug that into a charger or to your laptop or to something. You can just charge it up. It doesn't take that long to charge. And then you have a power button on the back. You have a lens here in the front, and then you have a screen that tells you all the settings, and then you have various buttons right here. Okay, so besides just being a manual tape measure, as you've seen, it is also a laser tape measure, and that's really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. I'm going to press the power button right here, and you'll see, there we go, screen kind of lights up. I give it a second. It's got a little laser on it. You see the little laser? It's got a laser coming out of here. The laser tells me where I'm actually aiming to for measurements. So what I'm going to do is, there's my screen here. There's my screen. It is backlit. If I go ahead and wait for a moment or so, it will go ahead and turn off. And the way this works is you can press various buttons over here to kind of control the various functions. Right off the bat, you can control the units. You have imperial, you have feet, you have meters. What am I here now? I'm at the measure. I'm at 1207 and 5/16, so that's 12 feet in inches. What do we have? 3.844 meters. We have 12.612, 6.5, I guess, feet. So it kind of bounces through, and then 151 and 5/16 inches. So what that's doing is it's just kind of changing through all the measurements, and you just click the measurement button to kind of jump through it. Now, what am I measuring? Well, where are you getting those numbers? Well, what's happening is that I'm hitting this button right here, and a laser is shooting up, and it's giving me the measurement to the ceiling, and I can see the little laser on the ceiling, and there we go, 44 inches. Let me go back to 3 feet 8 inches. That sounds pretty good. Now, again, the way this works is you go ahead, you line your hand up with the laser. Let me get it on the camera here. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do, there we go, and I'm going to press the, whoops, okay, there we go, and I press the button, and it instantly gives me a measurement. That's hard for me to read right there. It is 1 foot 6 inches and 7/8 to my hand, and wherever I just put my laser, I will get it again. Let me see here. Let's try again here. There's my laser again, and I'm kind of mirroring the camera, and I can do it again, I can do it again. You get the idea. Now, there's other modes you can do as well. There's another mode where if you press it down, it will automatically just kind of, you can hear beeping. As I move it around, it is taking measurements over and over again. So the measurements change as I move around. So that's kind of nice. It's kind of just a constant sonar, a constant measurement, so I can kind of move my arrow around. So maybe I need to find something that's exactly 10 feet away. I can move the laser up and down until I get exactly 10 feet, and then I can mark that point on the wall and say, aha, there's my 10-foot mark. It does have a little bit of a memory. It kind of keeps the last one measured. You also will see a little battery indicator up there. And then it's got some other little functions where you can actually like measure a cube, and it will give you the square foot or the square area of a cube, and all those sort of things. All those little features are in here. It's actually pretty clever. You can get some angles out of it. You can just kind of go through all the different measurements. It works really well. Let me show you some real life scenarios here. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I've got my laser on. I'm ready to go. I'm going to put it against the wall. I'm going to put my laser on the other side of the room. I'm going to press the button once, and there we go. And it's going to take a measurement, and it got at 23 feet 05 and 7/16. And that is pretty much dead on. I've done it a couple times, and it's been exactly the same every single time. So that's just really kind of nice. I just measured the entire room across the way in like a second. By the way, when you do the measurement, it measures from the very back of the tape measure. So it knows that the tape measure itself is about 3 or 4 inches, and it builds that into the measurement. So when you put it against the wall right here, the back of the tape measure, that's where it's actually calculating from. Even though the laser's in the front, it's including that extra 3 or 4 inches of the tape measure, so you don't have to do any math on your own. I can use this for long and short kind of at the same time. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just see how long this table is, and I kind of stretch it out, and I say, okay, this table is, there we go, about 15 or so, not quite even 16 inches, so I get the idea. But I say, oh, gee, but how much room do I have from the table to the wall? Well, all I got to do is I put my tape measure right there. I go ahead and I press my button. I get my laser all lined up, and I press it. And I have, looks like 4 feet 8 inches to the wall from this table. So now I know, aha, I have some room to put some more furniture here. So maybe you already have a tape measure, and maybe you already have a laser measure. This is nice because it's all one unit. It's all right here. You just carry one thing. The charge lasts a good long time. I charged it up at the beginning of the week. I've used it about a dozen times, and I have yet to actually see it go off full. It's really easy to use. It's really easy to operate. You can just turn it off to go ahead and save power. There we go. It's a regular size tape measure, nothing special. You wouldn't even know that it's any different if you didn't pick it up and kind of look at all the buttons. I like the locking mechanism. Like I said, the little magnet on the end is nice. The 16-foot tape is a strong quality tape. It's not a bad tape at all. Sometimes those things aren't good if the laser's good, but nope, it's fine. And the fact that it goes 131 feet is great. It's good for any sort of indoor stuff, even some outdoor stuff. In really, really bright sunlight, sometimes it might have a hard time, but I haven't had a problem yet. I've gone out and I've measured around my garage, and I measured from one side of my porch to the other on a regular day, and I didn't have a problem. But I could see if you're out in like a shiny field with a bright sun overhead, the laser might get a little bit lost. But otherwise, yeah, it works great. This is a really, really convenient, nice tool to have. If you do any kind of home improvement stuff, you're looking for a gift for a dad who does home improvement stuff, or a mom, this is definitely a cool tape measure, and I highly recommend it.